Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 24. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother, and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 9. It is better to live in a corner on the housetop than in a house shared with a quarrelsome wife. Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 14. House and wealth are inherited from the fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Lord. Isaiah chapter 62 and verse 5. For as a man marries a young woman, so shall your sons marry you. And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall your God rejoice over you. Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 5. When a man is newly married, he shall not go out with the army or be liable for any other public duty. He shall be free at home 1 year to be happy with his wife whom he has taken. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 4. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who brings shame is like rottenness in his bones. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 31. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 from verse 9 to 12. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, and has not another to lift him up. Again, if two lie together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And though a man might prevail against one who is alone, two will withstand him. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. Psalms chapter 85 and verse 10. Steadfast love and faithfulness meet. Righteousness and peace kiss each other. Mark chapter 10 and verse 9. What therefore God has joined together, let not man separate. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 from verse 4 to 7. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. John chapter 14 and verse 27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 4. Let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7. Likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel, since they are heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered. 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness? 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 8. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 14. And above all these, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. John chapter 13 from verse 34 to 35. A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. By this, all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. John chapter 15 and verse 13. Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 13. So now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest of these is love. 1 Corinthians chapter 16 and verse 14. Let all that you do be done in love.